Hello, here's Eamon and I, and it's just okay.
In John's hand.
And because we're in California and 52 degrees is cold here, we have
bundled up.
We have I'm wearing 2 jackets. We have the motor on, the heated seats are on, the heater's on.
It's necessary. We are some easily chilled weaklings.
I mean, this is just like think of yourselves in Detroit. All our Detroit viewers.
Shout out to the D.
You're in the snow. It's cold. Well, no, you know what? I'm thinking more of Seth Rogen in
Zack and Miri.
In Zack and Miri.
Yes,
yeah.
I love that movie.
And so it's fucking cold as shit, and yeah. So think of it like it might as well be snowing here. Is what I'm trying to say.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to your week 15 preview.
Crazy.
Where's
the time gone?
Where's the time gone? Well, I'll tell you one thing. 3.5 hours of my time went to watching Cal perform horribly last weekend at the big game, sitting up in the Stanford section, because that's where my free tickets were, and it was abysmal. That hurt. I am no longer going to get to see Cal break their losing streak for free, unless we go sit on the hill.
True.
And we can't do that at Stanford, so...
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I could get, Niles, my dad's assistant, to give me free tickets.
We can go and beat up some, Stanford kid next year and steal his tickets.
Yeah, true, we could do that, too. But, yeah,
just spitballing here.
I really don't want to pay unless I have a guarantee Cal will win.
It's gotta happen one of these years, right? One of these years, we want the Axe back.
It'll have been 10 years next year, so...
Amazing.
It sucks nuts. So the rest of that weekend, Utah got robbed, which was hilarious, as you saw in my tweet, hilariously appropriate for the Pac-12. Let's blow a call.
Larry Scott is getting the most shit he's ever gotten as Pac-12 commissioner. People are finally realizing how incompetent and overpaid he is. And then the Pac-12 goes out and has the most dull championship game we've ever had.
I mean, that was there were 5 people in Levi Stadium, and they were booing so loud. You could just hear them so loud through the TV. Okay, there were more than 5, but
not a lot of
people there, and they were booing very loudly as the game ended.
So Washington wins the Pac-12, and they'll go on to the Rose Bowl to face Ohio State,
where they will lose probably. We don't know if Urban's going to coach yet.
I don't know. He's going to coach it.
He's going to coach that,
but I don't know. Washington's a solid team.
Yeah, I mean they're going to have to really show that defense they did against Utah.
They'll have to show up in force.
Yeah. Fresno State got vengeance.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. I still need to watch the highlights.
Congratulations to Coach Tedford.
I'm really happy about that.
Very happy for him.
Yeah. They're going to get a decent bowl game, which we'll preview next week.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the first ones.
Yeah, it's the first day. I can't remember who they're playing.
They'll be skipping work.
Let's see what else happened. Oklahoma beat Texas in the rematch of
pretty convincingly
Red River rivalry.
Yeah, so that was, and people who are like, "Oh, Ohio State." Look, the fact is, Oklahoma had 1 loss. They beat the team they lost to. Yeah. Yes, Ohio State did not have a chance to play Purdue again, but that's
I can say with some certainty that Oklahoma is a better team than Ohio State.
I tend to agree. I think Oklahoma has damn near no defense, so if they're going to beat Bama, it's all in the hands of the A's draft pick who is signed to contract, who will hopefully win the Heisman. My dad has told me that this has happened once before. A Heisman winner who does not play football after he leaves college. I can't remember who it was.
Man, that's a good trivia question.
Yeah, he'll
have to look that up later.
Of course, Craig will know it off the top of his head.
Yeah, we'll have to look that up later.
But yeah, really pulling for Kyler Murray. I hope he wins the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, I don't like his chances. I feel like 2 is still the front runner, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's see. UCF dominated Memphis.
They were down when I left the Cal game. They were down 10.
They finished strong.
I was worried. My dad said it was incredible.
They had a 21-0 fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And a 14-3. So in the second half, they outscored them 35-3.
Really proud of them. Looking forward to the bowl game against LSU, who they will shred.
I would love that, even with the backup quarterback. That would be outstanding.
I would.
The longest winning streak in the nation continues.
Yep.
Northwestern. Bama had a scare against Georgia, man.
Kirby was like,
and then Tua got hurt, and they brought in Jalen Hurts for the first significant playing time all year, and he led them back.
And Kirby Smart was like, I didn't plan for another quarterback. I don't know what to
just so happens that Bama's second string quarterback would be the number one quarterback on probably any team in the country.
Oh yeah. I mean, wait, no, it wasn't you who pointed this out to me. Someone else pointed out to me that in the championship game they faced Hurts for the whole game, right? And they were handling him
for the first half.
Yeah. And then in the second half they put in Tua.
Yeah, and he set the world on fire. Yeah, it was to start the second half.
Kirby has a really hard time changing his game plan.
Yeah.
He's like, I have committed to this. So, and that's how you lose sometimes. So, and sometimes it happens twice against the same team.
Yeah. So then Clemson easily handled Pitt as we expected, and Ohio State beat up on Northwestern, unfortunately.
Northwestern wasn't really in that game.
There was a guy at the Cal tailgate the other day wearing a Northwestern jacket, and I was like, man, I can guarantee you're the only Northwestern fan here, and I'm pulling for you guys.
Yep.
And he was like, thanks, I don't have a lot of hope.
It was minimal at best.
Yeah.
So
that was last week. That was Champ Weekend.
And
so now we're in a little bit of a down couple of weeks.
We have a little game I like to call the Army-Navy game. Who is it at this year, Eamon?
I believe it's always either in Philadelphia or Baltimore.
Oh, yeah, my mistake.
Yeah, it's in Philly this year.
It's at the Link.
Yeah, the Link.
The Link. I hope there's fucking fights in the stand. Nah, it never happens at these military games.
Well, and undoubtedly Trump will show up again and spout some garbage. Remember last year he went on.
What did he say?
He went on the broadcast and said something like, "Well, these aren't the best football players, obviously." But
what the fuck?
You're an asshole. There's no reason to say that.
Have you ever heard of Keenan Reynolds, bitch?
I mean, yeah, everybody knows that these schools aren't known for their football teams, but that doesn't mean you have to say it. And that he's just a fucking.
He's just such a
He's
dick.
the fucking worst.
Yeah.
Anyway,
thank you for your service. We're pulling for someone in this game.
Yeah, so Army's got the much better record, but they're only favored by 7 in this game.
It's because it's a rivalry game.
They're probably. So they're 9-2, and Navy's 3-9.
If it snows, Army will win because their run game is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember last year we were laughing about how many yards they put up for the whole season. This year, Woolfolk. Oh God. Oh, Navy's got him outdone on running yards. Well, for one guy.
Yeah, but those are the leading rushers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But yeah, I mean, this gonna be fun.
I think this will be a close one.
Yeah.
I mean, statistically they're all pretty close except for points per game.
Yeah. What was the funny stat last year? Our Army threw for 5 yards for the whole game?
Something like that. Yeah.
Was nuts.
Well, and we're losing one of our triple option guys, and that what's his name? Paul Johnson from Georgia Tech is retiring.
Oh yeah.
So we're losing the Amish offense, as Dan Lebertard calls it, at Georgia Tech.
So we're really just down to just Army.
Yeah, just the military schools.
So it was fun while it lasted. It's really fun to watch, especially in the snow. Yeah, this game could be interesting. Line is 7 in favor of Army. I mean, I don't know. It's funny how Navy's got a great coach, but they are just not very good this year, and Army has just last few years is better and better and better.
Steady incline, yeah.
They're going in different directions.
Yeah, it's always a fun game to watch, even if just for watching the cadets in the stands.
It's so throwback.
Yeah, it really is. And hopefully it snows, as we mentioned. Any game's better with snow. Automatically adds a star to every game.
Oh yeah, I think Levi Stadium should install a snow machine if they want to make.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to make the Pac-12 championship game fun.
Yeah.
And
bring in one of those snow machines.
Yeah, and what they are now calling the Red Box Bowl. which used to be...
Is that the game that's at Levi's?
It used to be the
Emerald Bowl, and then it was something else.
It was at AT&T Park.
And then it was a Foster Farms Bowl.
Yeah. And now it's the Red Box Bowl.
What a terrible name.
And it should be the Red Box Bowl with snow machines. But
it should be. That would be outstanding.
Yeah, that would be really cool. What's his... York would freak out. They're ruining the field!
The field is already ruined. It's hard to ruin something that's already terrible.
I mean, I still argue that we should add a bowl called the Garbage Bowl that should be played in the Coliseum in Oakland.
Yeah, absolutely. The toilet bowl. I mean, it's your case. You're playing in raw sewage.
Yep, exactly. We could have it there or at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, there you go. Either way.
The toilet bowl. And it's not the worst teams. It's just in the worst place.
Yeah. And if you get tetanus, you get tetanus.
Exactly.
Come on, football.
And I think we should only sell tickets to Raiders fans. So it's just an absolutely insane crowd. Because I tell you, like, when I went to that Raider game in the rain, like, there's a dude fucking whacking a trash can up and down, like, people hitting the walls. Yeah, it was amazing. So I think that would be an incredible atmosphere for a bowl game.
My buddy Reardon, who's in our fantasy league, he and his wife went to the Raiders-Chiefs game the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And Reardon's a Dolphins fan. He had his Dolphins shirt on under a zip-up hoodie, which he had zipped up for the whole game because it was pretty cold.
Yep.
Then they went to take a picture at some point, and he got a person to take their picture, and he zipped it open and it had the Dolphins shirt. And the person taking their picture started yelling at him about his shirt. It's like, really, what animosity do you have about the Dolphins?
Fuck the Dolphins, our sworn enemies.
The most inconsequential team of the last 15 years, probably.
The Dolphins allowed the Patriots to make it to the Tuck Rule game. God damn it.
It's true. There you go.
Anyway, we digress.
How many stars do you give Army Navy?
I'm going to give it 3.5. I think it doesn't have as much potential to be as fun of a game.
I'm going to give it 4 just because it's the only game on. And that automatically bumps it up a half star, I think.
I got to work anyway. We're readdressing an office in Emeryville.
Well, there you go.
Yep. Yeah, should we do a little quick season recap with our last 8 minutes here?
Sure.
This was, I don't know, what would you say? Was this a weak season?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was hard to get too excited about it because, yeah, there's been years past where you had a pretty good idea of who was going to win the championship, but it's never been quite as clear as this year, at least that I can remember, that there's one team that's just so far ahead of everybody else. And I still enjoy watching all the games. Obviously, I love college football, but it takes a little bit out of it as far as the pure enjoyment.
It does, and yeah, I think this year more than any other year, we knew Alabama was going to win, and we know they're going to win. Even in years that they won championships, they never really had that great quarterback. Yeah,
and now they do. Now they have the best quarterback.
Yeah. Now it is written.
Yeah.
It's decided. It's over. What I think the wild cards were who were going to end up in 3 through 4.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly, it became clear that Clemson was going to come in at 3, and except for that scary moment where they almost lost to Syracuse, then I was like, ooh. That would have scared things up a little.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah, but I think 2 and 3 were the biggest mysteries going through the second half of the season.
Well, and
3 and 4.
Sorry. And we'll see. We'll see if Notre Dame can buck the trend of getting absolutely blown out in big time playoff and bowl games.
Yeah, so, I mean, we've had some bad
semifinals. They've passed every hurdle so far. It's bound to happen. It's bound to happen at some point that they just get completely blown out of the water.
Yeah, and that was another upsetting thing this season. Nobody put Notre Dame in their place like they have been put in the past.
Yeah, that was a shame.
Yeah, I mean, we had Jim Harbaugh just completely unprepared. Like if the Week 13 Michigan team played the Week 1.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that Notre Dame's bad because they're clearly not.
I will say they're not as good. I don't think there's anybody else who could replace them.
I don't know, man. They've looked pretty dominant in almost every game they've played.
They played.
Yeah, fair. I mean, they played Michigan. They played. They demolished Syracuse, who, as you said, almost beat Clemson.
Almost beat Clemson.
They played somebody else, I think.
Yeah, that's like the one glimmer of hope for the playoff.
They played Stanford. They played. I mean, USC's bad.
Yeah, Stanford. Oh God, Stanford played so poorly in that game. If Stanford played like they played against Notre Dame, we'd have killed them in the big game. I mean, not killed them, but we would have won. It wouldn't have been. It would have been close, but we would have won.
Cal's on the way up.
Yeah,
we're ascending. We had a couple really nice wins this year.
The
USC win was outstanding.
Oh yeah, that was great.
The Washington win was really fun.
Yep. This has been a year. This is still a step forward for Cal.
Yeah. They've got to take another step next year, though, and they've got to get a quarterback. Or they've either got to get a really good quarterback, or Garbers has to take some real steps forward in the offseason.
Yeah. There's hope yet. The bummer was that our hope was tempered by the last game of the season, of the regular season. So
yeah,
we were very disappointed in that, and that hurt. So Stanford is on the downslope, which is always nice to see. Mm-hmm. USC is fucked.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, they're fucked.
Well, now that they've brought in Cliff Kingsbury as their offensive
coordinator,
coordinator,
are they going to go to spread like we used to do?
Or to like an air raid,
yeah.
Maybe. I'm thinking they should just fire Helton now and promote Kingsbury to head coach.
I know you already got him on the staff.
Yeah,
you may as well take some chances. But I don't know. Lynn Swann seems to believe that Clay is the way, and we'll just surround him with new assistants.
I wonder which team will get back to greatness first, USC or UCLA? Because they're both in pretty bad shape right now.
I think UCLA. UCLA beat USC this year, which was also another fun thing to see.
They did. That was unexpected.
I was pulling for Chip in that one. It's the rest of the Pac-12 South is very happy right now because things are looking up for them and looking down for USC. Except Colorado. Colorado's kind of just fucked.
They haven't hired a coach yet, have they?
No, I think they did.
Did they?
Maybe. I don't necessarily agree with firing McIntyre personally.
If you when you lose 6 games in a row or 7 games in a row after a 5-0 start,
all right, I'm just kind
of have to fire the coach.
I'm just being Tony Dungy on Sunday. Sorry, when they fired McCarthy. Well, I just don't understand. I mean, he took him to the Pac-12 championship. No, yeah, you're right. He lost 6 games in a row. That should be enough for, I think, most 7 games in a row. That should be enough for most coaches in the Pac-12 to get fired. Yeah. Except for Oregon State. And Cal that one year.
Yeah.
Well, that was Dyke's first year, and we didn't really.
1-10, 1-11, whatever. 1-11.
Yeah.
Oof, that was awful.
Yeah. Things are looking up. As far as the Pac-12 goes, Herm Edwards. Things could go somewhere. I mean, that team's not consistent yet.
Yeah.
Kevin Sumlin, I'm really worried about Arizona. They're going to be a challenge for us to beat.
Think so?
Yeah, maybe. Potentially. I don't know.
We should have beaten them this year.
Yeah, we should have beaten them this year.
That and UCLA were the 2 worst losses for Cal this year.
No doubt. No doubt at all. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Oregon don't know where they're going to go. Washington don't know where they're going to go.
Well, especially if Justin Herbert goes into the draft this year, which I don't think he should because I don't think he's that good. He's fine.
My dad seems to think he's going to be the best quarterback in the draft, and that's just
not
because
there's
no one else.
Though. Yeah, exactly. He might be, but is he really that good? No, probably not.
No. As far as other conferences goes, just really quickly, so I don't have to meld this video with another video. Because my phone splits them at 20 minutes now for some reason.
Oh no. Make it fast.
Whatever. I'll just accept the split. ACC. Not looking good.
No.
It's going to be Clemson for the foreseeable future. Miami can't seem to get it together. SEC. When does Tua graduate?
I don't think till after next year. Or maybe another year after that.
Well, shit. You guys are fucked too. Big Ten, no more Urban.
No more Urban.
So this is
Harbaugh's chance to get his own quarterback and figure it out.
Or is it his chance to just get close and then fall to Michigan State for the next 2 years, and then Wisconsin's chance to have hope and then lose in the Big Ten
What would
championship.
be great is if Northwestern
comes
really,
out of nowhere,
really takes like a few steps forward and is like, this is our conference now.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
We've been to the championship game, and now we've got that experience, and we're not to be messed with.
Oh yeah, I mean,
amazing.
I mean, you know how I feel about some of these coaches. So let me say, if I'm Northwestern, I'm looking at this and I'm like, hey, we got some openings here. Our only real challenge is D'Antonio, and that guy's getting old. Who knows if he's still got it?
Mm-hmm.
I am not worried about James Franklin. I'm not worried about Jim Harbaugh, especially after watching that game against Ohio State.
Yeah.
And I ain't worried about Maryland, not for the foreseeable future.
I'm not worried about Maryland.
So, my conference, bitch. I'm just worried about Wisco and Nebraska. Fucking
Nebraska's in the Big 12.
No, they're in the Big 10, dude. They moved, remember? That's why the Big Ten's all divided stupid, because they were like, we're not joining.
I'm years behind.
Yeah, when Nebraska joined the Big Ten, they were like, we're not joining unless you make the division stupid.
Yeah, there's like 14 teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah, put all the good ones in the other division. Put us in this one.
Speaking of the Big 12,
yeah, we cruised the Big 12.
Pretty competitive conference, honestly.
Yeah, they shot themselves.
You got Texas, you got Oklahoma.
I thought they were gonna...
Oklahoma State is always good for like a surprise win or two.
Yeah. Iowa State.
It's
turned into a fun conference.
Yeah.
It used to be the laughingstock, the bottom barrel. Now the Pac-12 is, sort of.
Yeah.
ACC has the potential to be soon.
ACC, I think, is at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the Big 12 looking up. You got fewer people running bullshit spread. Though there's still fucking 50-plus point games in Oklahoma.
I wonder what'll happen
much of a defense.
I wonder what'll happen with Texas Tech now that Kingsbury's gone. Like,
that is a good question.
What are they gonna keep the same scheme? Like,
I mean, it's been their scheme for how many years now?
A long time, since Mike Leach was there.
Yeah,
possibly before him.
Yeah, I mean, I like what he said. I ain't going back. They didn't pay me. Thanks, Mike. We need you out here for the fun.
Exactly. We need a level of weirdness.
Yeah. Yeah, the Big 12's looking on the up. I need some defenses, though. Give me some defenses. I know fucking the state of Texas has defensive players. Just find them. Things we're looking up for Texas. I thought the Big 12 was going to shoot themselves in the foot by having a championship game this year, but they didn't.
Yeah.
That turned out to help them. So, good move on their Bowlesby. Any credit.
I know this about you.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. And I have to give his staff credit for this one.
They do all the work.
Yeah, exactly. What else we got? The American. I see some candidates to be sucked into the Big 12, UCF. I see some candidates to be sucked into the Pac-12 and become the Pac-14. I'm looking at not Fresno State, but Boise State.
Aren't they in the Mountain West?
Yeah. Couldn't we steal them, become the Pac-13?
An odd number of teams.
An odd number of teams, baby.
We're just innovative out here.
We don't give a fuck.
This is what we do.
Yeah. No, I think the next few years we're gonna have to expand.
I need another team to beat Cal.
Yeah. Well, somebody's gonna have to expand. If it's not the Pac-12, it's gonna be the Big 12. If it's not the Big 10, I don't know. Big 10 should.
Big 10's already got 14 teams. I don't think they need to expand.
They never ever changed their name. Oh yeah, they never changed their name. Did they? Yeah, morons. Yeah, I think the Pac-12 or the Big 12 are the candidates for pulling in some new teams, some new blood.
If you were to get like Fresno State and say San Diego State, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. So we'll see. Who else we got out there? We got the Mountain West had a good showing this year, though it was the same championship game as last year in the same place, but different result, fun game, overtime. Yeah. Both those teams are going to bowl games.
Yeah. I think that's all I got, man.
Yeah, the American was kind of upsetting because you just had UCF, Houston, and Memphis, and Houston petered out near the end of the season. Mm-hmm. So I don't know where that conference is going. It can't be anywhere good because UCF wants out.
Oh yeah, well, and they deserve to. They deserve to get into a Power 5.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to run a football program like that, then why not?
They should get into the ACC and replace Should
we do relegation?
Yeah, I think relegation would be great.
I am with
fucking
you.
English Premier Premier League style. I think that'd be fun.
I mean, Americans are stupid. It might be hard for them to
get
follow.
fucking Wake Forest out of there or something.
Yeah. Why is Wake Forest in the ACC?
Basketball school.
Learn to work the saxophone. I play just what I feel. Drink Scotch whiskey all night long. And I behind the wheel. I got a name for the winners in this world. I got a name when I lose. They call Alabama the Crimson Tide. Bum, bum. Call me Deacon Blues. Deacon Blues. And on that, we'll say farewell. That song says everything you need to know.
That was good, man. We were harmonizing and everything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Crimson Tide, unfortunately. Your 2018 champs. Farewell.
Bowl previews next week.
Get hyped. That's my favorite time of the year.
Brah.